Hello, this is Monty, and I have started on the little restaurant. I haven't decided if I like the multicolored tables yet, or if it's going to drive me nuts. I may have to make them all the same color to make them uniform. We'll have to see. But I'm not really sure which color I like the best. I'm leaning towards just this all turquoise color. I'm really into that lately, as you can see from the whale. I started this little shop, the little restaurant thing, and it's going pretty good. My plan, as you can tell, it's going to actually have a roof on it, not the flat adobe like roof that I've been doing. It's going to have a tiled roof, but I'm using bamboo because I have a ton of it, and I can get even more with my bamboo farm that I started. And so I'm trying to use bamboo as much as possible, and since I'll probably end up painting it anyway, it's perfect for these tiles. And I kind of like the texture of it, of the roof. I don't like the texture of these. It's the reason why I don't do much bamboo work. I don't like that tie that's in the middle or something. But the roof pieces I don't mind that much. They look kind of, I don't know, they look kind of like an awning. So, and I have never done a roof in here before, so it took a minute to figure out how the pieces scale upwards without looking all yucky. So the plan is, I was going to have seating in here, but I think I'm not. I think what I'm going to do is this back wall will be shelves and probably the stoves hidden inside of cabinetry. So there'll be a cabinet around the stove, so you won't really see the stoves. But I'm going to have like an L-shaped, it's going to start about here, an L-shaped display case. So the bottom part will be cabinets, and then the top part will be glass encasing, and then it's going to have like the ice. I have some ice blocks that I can make from when I mine some frozen ice, and I'm gonna put in like the catch of the day kind of things, so they can see different. I'm gonna put different fish in there, and then I'm thinking maybe some crab pieces. I don't even really know what maybe seaweed. I don't know if seaweed will. Let's look. No, it just gives you grass. That's too bad. Oh, I keep picking it. I don't think you can. I don't think coral is edible, but I'm probably going to decorate with coral. Sea urchins might be. I don't know. They might be poisonous too. I'm allergic to seafood, so I don't know a lot about seafood things. Things that you find in the ocean. I can't eat it, so. But it's gonna, I'm gonna decorate with that kind of stuff, as well as. Ooh, lag spike. It doesn't like me recording. As you can see, there's going to be a lot of greenery as well. I've planted quite a bit over here. Some of them I'm gonna have to pick out because the seeds don't land exactly where you want sometimes. So, but and some of it I might look at it later and go, that doesn't look so good there. Which this may not. This cassava, I think it's called. But anyway, so I'm trying to create, a really lush feeling around this this little restaurant. But there's just a couple tables out here, and then like I want to create some, greenery here to kind of fill up the space. And it's going to take up more space than I thought. So I might do a tailor shop, because that's actually probably one of the smaller ones, and I kind of like the idea of the blacksmith being a stone building, whereas the tailor I don't really mind. Or I could do like a grocery store. That might work too. Like a general purpose store. I don't know, like if you were on a dock, like a wharf or something, I guess you would probably, I mean, this fisherman's hut makes sense, right? And he sells fish to the family that, you know, their little family mom and pop restaurant over here. So maybe this over here is a grocery store where they buy the fish, but they also buy other things too. But I kind of like the idea of the grocery store having like a farm outside, but I may just make the farmer something else. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. But it will depend on how much room this takes up, because I want the case to be fairly good size. You know, it's going to be probably 4 spans across, widthwise, and then the whole, enough room for somebody to stand and look at it. So they would come in and like this and be standing here. So it would probably start right here and go like this. We'll see. But I just wanted to give you an update so you could see where I was at. Looks like she's skipping. I guess I could change out of my iron uniform there. Oh, and I'm playing so it doesn't bother me, but it might bother you if I'm moving all over the place. So let me know in the comments if you're like, God, if you don't stop bouncing all over the place. It might be annoying. I don't know. So I'm going to put some crates down here. They're just soil containers. And I saw Chrysalis had done this, but I couldn't figure out where he'd gotten the crates from. I was all like, where are those crates? And then I really, really looked at him and I was like, oh, that's a soil container. So I'm just going to use soil containers and do something like this, but with fish. It's going to be mainly fish, because it's going to be like a seafood restaurant. Let's see what these look like. How big are these? I don't think I've ever... Oh, God, that's huge. Jiminy. Well, we could display it, I guess, but I thought they were going to be small so I could put them on the table. Nope, not at all. How big are these? God, these are huge too. I don't know, it might get a little crowded. Ooh, those look pretty. Little, I don't know. Well, I'll move stuff around. I still haven't gone to bed yet. Yeah, I'm crazy. I had to do some work. This is not work. This is me goofing off. I kind of like the orange tables the best. The orange or the turquoise, I'm not sure which. I guess it'll depend on... I think the brown ones are just too heavy. The color's too heavy, I think. So that one will probably go away. I kind of like this green, but I don't like it enough to... we'll see. It is kind of cheery. Yeah, it is kind of cheery. Let's see if we can grab it. It paints, I'm noticing those tables. Color picker. Oh, okay. Store color. These tables, you paint them, and then they paint a darker color. Oh, dang it. I forgot to switch it. They paint a darker color than, whoa, that's a lag spike for you. Look at that. See, it's a lot darker than the chairs would be, see. So you kind of have to go in here, and I'm just wasting all kinds of paint. Kind of make it lighter to compensate for it, to try to get the right color. Then it kind of mutes out. It's just kind of saturated. Not the best tables to have to paint. It looks like baby poop. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but that's the color. Yeah, these tables they're not the best for painting. We may have to go with this turquoise color because it or the orange, because it seemed to, I don't know, it just seemed to not be as bad when it got darker. But see, like this, that's not cherry, that's vomit. That's gross. That's a cherry green, not a cherry green. And it's right near the green, so yeah. Yeah, we'll probably switch that out. I think purple would be just too much. I don't mind the purple accents near it, but... And I've used... I think orange should be a pop of color, not necessarily... Yeah, I'm leaning towards these turquoise, or these... I guess it's turquoise, these teal colors. But anyway, so that's where I'm at. I don't think I've changed anything else on the base. Have I? I don't think so. Oh, I planted some stuff. I think you saw it, maybe. Let's see. This area was, I'm trying to add greenery around these rocks so they're not as stark. And I took out those bushes, those big old elderberry bushes, these right here, where you couldn't walk through them. So now I'm going in and trying to, it was all green, so I tried to add in some color. But it might, I don't know if it translates into a pathway or not. It's pretty, so I'm going to leave it probably, but I'm not sure I accomplished what I had intended to do. It doesn't really look like a pathway. I need lots of glass, mucho glass. I don't like these as windows. I've seen people do them pretty good, you know, like they've done a really good job of implementing them as windows, but for the style stuff I do, I prefer to have either just an open window, because if you lived in a tropical island, you probably wouldn't have, you know, you'd probably just be hot. Just be hot. There's no getting around it. You're probably not using a lot of glass either, but I think glass just looks better. I don't know, it just looks more finished to me. So I am opting for the glass versus the trellis look. So we had a wandering seeds up here, but I will pick those once they're ripe, so they're not hanging out in the glass. Ow. I don't know why. They look cool as decorations, and then I step on them and I'm like, oh, what was that? Oh, the sea urchin. Oh, now I gotta go pick some wood. I won't make you suffer through watching me chop down wood, but I don't like it. It's my least favorite in-game activity. Probably should chop down the bamboo too, since I'm doing the roof in bamboo. I planted. Oh, this is pretty. You might enjoy this. Oh. I noticed that I'm a visual person, so notice how neat that cassava looks with the turmeric, I guess is what it's called. That pink showing through. It looks so different there than it does here with nothing underneath it. See? It's kind of weird how different it looks with that planted. And this looks really cool too, this desert sage with the pineapples. I don't know, I just thought it was, I think I'll take a screenshot. I just thought it looked really cool the way the colors kind of work together. I should pick those soon. I made a little forest back here. I don't like evergreen trees, like in real life or in game, in any games. The closest that I've come to liking any of them, there's some pine trees in Banished that they modified them, and the Maritime, I think is the name of that collection. But that set of pine trees is actually pretty, but for the most part, I do not like them. I just never have. Unless it's got a star and some balls on it for Christmas, I just don't want to look at them. So I won't mind cutting them down, I think. So that's the reason why I planted them. So I will cut these down once they grow for all the wood that this dock thing is going to take. My dog is losing his mind. But anyway, that's the update. Trees are planted, and the little restaurant is started. I may get a little AHD bored with it and have to move on to something else. We'll see. Okay, this will be the third time I'm recording this. It's not recording the audio for some reason. I thought it was my mistake, but I think it's actually the software. I may have to really investigate on some software to use. I've been trying to use something native, so I was using the Windows 10, which is kind of iffy. And then I have something built into the NVIDIA thing, but it seems to not. You would think it would work the best, right? Because it what powers the drivers, but it actually is worse. Okay, so hopefully this is recording. If not, I will probably do some tests before I record again. This is just a mini update that I'm going to splice into the full video, but just to give you an update on the progress so far. And I'm going to change some things, so I wanted to put it in the video here so you can kind of see it. I'm manicuring this. I'm not done yet, but I'm manicuring the foliage because I don't want it to go too crazy. And it was kind of poking into the awnings here, so and it was like really crazy over here. So I will probably I'm going to look and see if I can find something that's a little bit more appropriate for, because I want it to grow up but not overpower the windows. Okay, so this is the first thing that I've built in the game that I was not pleased with when I got done. And I didn't realize this. It wasn't a design flaw. It was well, I guess it's a design flaw, but it was a not understanding how the pieces worked flaw because the way that the glass works, it kind of does you can see it doesn't flush to the edge completely of where the wood is. It kind of sets in the middle. Because of that, it has like this buffer zone around it when you place it. I don't know if I have any. I don't have any on me, but so the idea was that for this to be like a glass case, showcasing, the fish and stuff. You kind of see it from the top here, like oysters and crab meat and stuff like that. But this beam was necessary to put in here, which I wanted this from going up vertically and then going over across horizontally. I wanted it all to be glass, but that's not possible because the glass pieces have to adhere to something. They won't touch each other. They won't join together. Ugh, it was a big pain. It took me longer to try to figure this out than it did to do anything else that I've built. So, and I don't like it. It had to be built out farther than I wanted it to, so it's kind of crouching this. And I don't have any more real estate this way, so it has to be addressed inside. And then it doesn't work, right? I had to build a platform just so that you look like you were looking into the counter, but you're just looking into wood, right? You don't. It's not attractive. It's not functional. It's. So I'm probably gonna dig that out, as much as I hate to, because my barrier thing is like way up there. So everything manually, but it is wood, so that's better than stone. God, stone is awful to try to take out. So I'll probably get rid of the stove too and squish this counter back and make this more of an alley kitchen way, and do something, even if it's just bar stools and a seating area, it would be preferable to this crap. Yeah, it's not working. So I'm going to try to display the food in some way because that was kind of the gist of that, but I may just do the eating area. And this isn't decorated out yet. The next update, it probably won't be either, but I'll probably have the buildings completely done with the roof and everything. I need to tinker with this some more, but I kind of like this as a wine rack thing. I thought that was cool. Okay, so I'm combining the shops. They still do that now. Like I see this quite a bit where, you're in this shop and then you kind of float into another shop. So this is going to be a Tailor. And then over the shops is a sleeping area. So the role play here is that the husband owns the eatery and the wife owns the tailor, and she's the head seamstress. So there's going to be like a table, some chairs, a bed, just a little sleeping area. And then this is the patio. So it's kind of, if it was in more of a Roman looking style, it would look kind of like their buildings, but it's the same kind of concept. So I recessed this in on purpose, and then all of this is going to be glass. I'm going to put some crates here in the corner, maybe a lamppost so that it looks kind of like a walkway, here. I mean, I know I have a lot of lanterns up, but, a little street lamp, and maybe some signs. I don't know, but something to kind of, make it look like a shop on the outside. And then this is going to be all front plate. The whole front is glass. And then when you, look through the glass, you'll see some mannequins showing the clothing and stuff. And then I'm going to showcase the loom and the spinning wheel. And then underneath here will be storage cubby holes for the yarn and stuff. I'll try to bring in as much Tailor specific items. The tanning thing will be somewhere else. It's going to be in a different shop. And then I'll move to the fisherman's area. So I'm going to, get the building done so that it's an actual building with a roof and everything, and decorate it as I go. But then I'm going to start working on this as well. I hope I can really improvise. I'd like to make a little sewing machine and cutting table in here. I wish there were little scissors. There's all kinds of little things that I would love to see added to the game. Little utensils and stuff. I might be able to makeshift some of that, but we'll see. I don't want to go too crazy with it because I don't want to spend like an hour trying to get like one little utensil made. It's just kind of well. Okay, so this is probably should have been said at the very beginning of this little series, but this is a new concept for me in terms of gaming. I'm used to the building games that I do are more like godlike games, so like Banished and Tropico, where I'm doing city planning and industry. I really love the industry supply and micromanaging that. This is my first building game where I'm like landscaping, like terraforming and grinding out materials and building structures by hand. This is not something that I've ever done before in a game. And that's a huge lag spike. That crash? Oh my god, do not crash in the middle of this, please. So this is new for me. I'm not used to doing this. So mistakes will be made and they will be, some of them just won't be corrected. Like I'm not gonna like make this my career, right? Like I have a career. This is just me doing stuff on the side. So, wow, that was a huge lag spike. And one thing to note, like I've seen some YouTubers where, and there's nothing wrong with this, but they're so anal about their builds that I'm just like, dude, you're spending way too much time doing this. Like more time than I'm going to invest in it. And also, I don't like that. Like and I like looking at it from their perspective and their games. But that's not how I build because I'm visually I work in creative spaces, for my career and stuff. So symmetrical is okay. It can be used like here's a good example. This to me makes sense symmetrical, right? Like there's steps on each side. It's even, you know, lanterns or something on each side. That works for me. But when I do buildings, like my ship is not symmetrical at all. Um, this was built definitely not to be on a grid. It was supposed to be a natural looking. When you go through a restaurant, they don't put them outdoor spaces. They want to get as much in as they can, but you still want to flow, right? So I don't build that way. Like, see, this is a like 4 pane here, and this is what sea urchin 6 over here. So, I'm not going to make a symmetrical building. I'm not going to fix all the mistakes. Sorry, I still haven't. This is bugging me. I'm going to have to log out sometimes to make my painter. But I'll have to reverse this paint. But this might be really driving somebody crazy for like 3 episodes, right? Like, if you don't fix that plank, I'm gonna go nuts, right? So this is just a fair warning that this may not be the right series for you if everything has to be symmetrical and everything has to be pristine and perfect, because that's not my world, right? Like, I'm a creative illustrator. Perfectly symmetrical lines everywhere would like drive me nuts, right? I want things to be a little quirky and off center, and also in real life I'm not an overly like, I'm not a girly girl. Like, I'm not the girly girl, right? I play video games with guys and stuff. I don't know, but I still like feminine touches in a game, so that may not be appropriate for you either. So I just want to throw that out there, that like not everybody's for everybody, right? So just a fair warning: these buildings might drive you nuts, where you just be like, oh, she's crazy. She rambles and she makes things pink or peach or something. So there you have it. All right, so this is the only other thing that's an update for the base. A lot of this stuff is growing in now, so I'm really liking it. This, I don't know. I'm gonna have to come back to this. I don't know. It was supposed to be like a pathway down to this little cute pond, but it doesn't. It feels like that when you're standing like right here, but it doesn't when you get up here. It just feels like it. I don't know. So I have to think about that and work through that. Okay, so I also wanted to lay out, I've been really thinking about what I want to do with this series, and I want to preface that with I may get bored with the game before it's done. So yeah, don't be mad if I don't finish it all, because it's a possibility. But here's a list of things that I want to build. I have that composition that I mentioned earlier that someone else built, that's like a marble quarry that I want to build off of. I want to expand that, so I'm going to bring that in at some point. So there's that, and then that's going to move into like a sculptor. So a sculptor, a potterer. I want to do an armory, and a blacksmith. Um, those will probably actually be after the hunt or the fisherman's area. I want to do a hunter's lodge out kind of in the wild a little bit, as well as a lumberjack. There weren't they seem to be on the islands with the conifer type trees more so than on the tropical, but there wasn't a pre-installed like lumberjack building here, so I'm gonna have to build one from scratch, and I want to build one of those, and a granary with a miller, not too far from a farm with like a wheat and corn field or whatever, or quinoa. Well, it depends. I may split it up or whatever. And then a bakery, but the bakery will be more down. I want the shops and the village to be populating the coast more, and then some of these other places more inland. The Tailor, which we're already working on, possibly a miner, and I don't know. I might build a church, because that seems like something that would be in a village, right? But we'll have to see about that, because that seems like that's a lot of structure. So we'll have to see about that. And then also, I don't want to bring my own like quirky religious things into the game either. So may or may not do that. Oh, speaking of quirky religious things, I'm going to. I had forgotten about this, but I would like to, when you make like a banished game or some of those games when you first start out, you usually have a hunter-gatherer kind of setup, and I want to build like an old witch out in the woods type thing, where she's an herbalist, right? So she's when you get sick, you go out and you go talk to the witch, right? I want to build one of those, like way out in the woods kind of thing. Just a little hut, with a little, herbs and stuff like that. And then after all that's done, if I'm still playing this, like I said, I would like to do a barracks, because there's quite a bit of stuff in the game for that would work for a barracks. We have catapults and cannons and target practice. Yeah, there's quite a bit of stuff that's already kind of pre-built into the game, which kind of makes sense. And then maybe like a pirate cove. There's so much stuff that you could do in this game. It's just, I think that's one of the reasons why I like it. It's a grind though, man. Some of this stuff is a grind, but you're really only limited by your creativity. So that's awesome, right? So maybe like let me look at the map. Okay, so we're over here. So maybe on the other side of the island, like right in here, or somewhere where there's kind of kind of like a bay area. Maybe right in here. Build like a pirate's cove. So, build out a cave, because I don't even think I have a cave on this island. I don't remember. Build out a cave, and then a pirate's area. There's quite a bit of pirate stuff, I think. Like, I know there's some flags, chest, and yeah. So, build out something like that. That's, a pirate area with some ships and stuff. This is like 6 months worth of work. I swear to God, the stuff that I have on this list. But, it just, we'll see how it goes. But I just wanted to throw that out there. This is kind of where my mind is working. The things that I'm used to plopping down in these games, I would like to build out on this island. Now, one of the things that we may be limited by is my CPU. Like, this is an old rig. I haven't updated it in like 4 years. So that might be an issue. The game itself might be an issue. I don't know. The more you build, of course, the laggier it gets, and we may find that it's just too much, right? Like I get 5 buildings on here and it'd be like, I can't handle the lag. It might be that. And then they may do another update that requires a reset to enjoy new things. So there's always those limitations as well. But one thing I am doing to kind of preserve, like I love my ship, love it, and I really love my house. I mean, I would redo my house if I needed to, because I think it fits on this island, but it doesn't like structurally look like it would fit on. It would on the desert biome, but definitely not the colder ones, right? So I could give that up, but I love my ship. So I'm saving builds as well. I'm bringing them into the editor and just doing a save as, so I have things in case I need to pull out compositions. Now that I kind of have that down, like, have the ability. It's time consuming, and the editor is like really, it's not fun. Because it's buggy as well, but it's early access. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, just trying to prepare for losses and things like that. But that's something to keep in mind as well. I probably should have backed that up. Let's make this difficult. Okay. So, we may run into even just technical difficulties in being able to accomplish all this. But, by the time this is released, I'm probably going to upload all these videos that I've completed, like the tutorial and, the walkthrough and stuff like that, in the next couple days. So by the time somebody sees this and potentially could put a comment, I'm definitely not going to be halfway through that list. So, anything you want to add to that, or insights, or things like that, or just hey, cheerlead, that's fine too. Let me know. I like it when she skips. Oh my god, I've got to change her clothes. She's still wearing come at me gear, God. But anyway, that's the update. That's where I'm at. I'm going to dig this out, make this something better than that. That's awful. And build out the shell of this building and start populating it. It's time consuming because I'm not in the creative mode. I'm doing this all with my farming over there. I've created these little mini forests, planting, so I have to wait some cycles sometimes just to get trees, because I want to keep the tropical trees, except for where I'm actually putting a building down and my little trail with a camper that I mentioned earlier. Outside of that, I want to add to the trees. I don't want to take them away. So I'm building little forest areas to populate, And most of the buildings off the water, off this area, will be wood. But the others will probably be sandstone and stone, because I like working with that better and I have more of it. So they will probably not be wood. And I think I've mentioned this before. I don't like chopping down the trees. My least favorite activity in the game. You can't tell with all this wood over here, though. Alright, that's it. I rambled enough. I'm going to get to work. I have to do work. And then later on today, I will do this work. And I will update you soon. Bye.
There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight from my soul. goes a sight for my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight for my there goes a sight. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight for my soul.
I see you dancing, you been over. Now, baby, I just wanna hold ya. I'm liking how you move, girl. I'm stepping into your world. I wanna feel your body. We so down from this party. You whispered that you're lonely. I told you, baby, I can be your one and only. Now, what are you thinking? My mind is sinking. What do you want to do? 'Cause I wanna freak with you. Baby, only if you really want to. Make up your mind so I can get behind of you, baby girl. Let's seal it. Girl, I want to feel it now. Drop that thing tonight. Baby, won't you drop that thing? Drop that thing tonight. Baby, won't you drop that thing? Drop that thing tonight. Baby, won't you drop that thing? Drop that thing tonight. Baby, won't you drop that thing? One try. Girl, keep going, don't stop. Why so for me? Going like you're dancing at a recital. I'll sing my song like you want American Idol. You find out, heard you might be kinda psycho. Tamina, put one hand on the Bible. It's cool though, we out, girl, so let's go. But you wanna dance on this pole. Now what are you thinking? My mind is sinking. What do you want to say? 'Cause I wanna freak all day. Baby, tell me when you're ready to play. Make up your mind so I can get behind of you, baby girl. Let's seal it. Girl, I want to feel it now. Drop that thing tonight. Baby, won't you drop that thing? Drop that thing tonight. Baby, won't you drop that thing? Drop that thing tonight. Baby, won't you drop that thing? Drop that thing tonight. Baby, won't you drop that thing? Drop that thing tonight. Baby, won't you drop that thing? Drop that thing tonight. Baby, won't you drop that thing? Drop that thing tonight. Baby, won't you drop that thing? Drop that thing tonight. Baby, won't you drop that thing? Drop that thing tonight. Baby, won't you drop that thing? Drop that thing tonight. Baby, won't you drop that thing? Drop that thing tonight. Baby, won't you drop that thing?
back again. Okay, so I said I wasn't going to update again until I finished editing the videos, but I've done a lot of work on the Tailor and restaurant. I think I'm going to call it the Krabby Patty shop or something like that. I took the painting from inspiration from the crab trophy. Um, so it's using that orange and pink base that I had in the Tailor shop. Oh man, the pigment harvesting, real big grind. Part of it is because you can't really control, I mean, you can control it, but unless you have a really big farm, it's kind of hard to get large quantities of pigment, especially the white, I'm noticing. And because my choice of color was not very saturated, it needed a lot of white. So anyway, this is what it looks like. I'm really liking it. I ran out of pigment, so the under part of you can see some of the roof things need to be painted so that you can't see the green underneath, but I'll get that done eventually, but I'm not going to stress over it. So um but it's 3 tones. So we have this pink in the back, and then where the recessed area is, there's that pink again, and then the cubby holes and stuff inside are the orange, and that carries throughout here. And then I chose a darker, I'm going to change these teal tables once I get more pigment. But so this is the color, this dark orangey red is the coloring. And man, this don't step on the meat. This was really hard to paint. I'm noticing that painting around placed items is just a pain. It's better to paint and then put your place stuff down. And I don't know when they added this update, but now you have piles of ash show up every time you cook. So kind of funky, but I'm sure they'll be used for something. So I've added in a ton of stuff probably since the last update. I'm pretty sure I have. I don't remember what it looked like then because I worked on it so much, but so I've got all the mannequins in, and I did go back in and change the first 2 glasses to the big plates. I'm not sure it made that big of a difference. I mean, it did, but it's not huge. I really wish the glass that is used for the windows was closer to the glass that you see like on that pigment jar. So the reflection seems more natural instead of that like really harsh painted gray line. I don't know, it's distracting to me. So, oh, and I like the plants that I put here. I put down the fern. This is a little tip, I guess, maybe. I need to pull this one up. So I planted the fern first, and then I chose this, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Never heard of it before. Helisonia, maybe. Um, that kind of ties in with this pinkish, orangish hue, this sherbet color. On top of that, once I had the fern in, and that gives it a little bit, so it's not too crazy. So I'll probably do it over here too. Whoa, lag spike. Doesn't like me recording. I'll talk about the latency after I get through this walkthrough. But I'm gonna paint these planters before I paint again because it's a pain in the butt. And those may not get painted because I don't want to have to replant those. And I don't really mind the wood planters, but so yeah, lots of clothing was made and shoes, and I really like it. I had a lot of fun doing it. And I think that I'm going to enjoy the shops much more than the home base building somehow. I think it's easier and more fun to decorate um, something that looks more like, a space for other people. I need to paint that still too. I kind of like this wine rack. I think it looks like a wine rack to me. All right, so oop. Oh yeah, and I changed the stairs. I kept like feeling like they were overpowering the room down there. And then I remembered that there was 2 or 3 different size stairs and changed it. This has probably got a little bit too much of that coral color in here, so I'll probably tone that down. I'll probably repaint some of these items, but I'm not sure. And I like the patio area. I think it turned out really cool. They've got a little, outside eating area, and they can relax in the privacy from the Cecil agave. I really like it. Let me know what you think of it. Um, if you think, oh, I'm going to put another crab trophy right there above the door, so they're matching. Let me know what you think of it. Uh, you know, I don't think the fisherman's area is going to be too. Um, I don't think it's going to be as colorful. I think because I don't know. This seems kind of appropriate for a tailor shop and a. I don't know. So the fisherman's area is probably going to be toned down. Probably some brown hued paintings. I'm really excited about doing the blacksmith. I have some design ideas, so I want to get the fisherman's out of the way so I can move on from cutting down trees and stuff. But okay, so the latency issue. I saw a video. Let me see if I can see. I'm looking at my Mac that sits next to my PC. If I can find his name. Stout Crusher. I'm pretty sure he's the one that put it on there. He's on YouTube. He does quite a few Ylands videos, and he does a lot of helpful videos and like, oh, look at my pretty building. I mean, he does that too, but you know what I'm saying. He does a lot of tips. And he was saying that the latency issue has to do with the horses. And if you've watched the previous videos, you've noticed that I have a lot of horse problems. So he was showing on his video. I'm not gonna video it, but he was showing on his video him running around shooting on the horses on the island. So there's one wild one like to the north. I don't know if that's the direction or not, but that direction that I didn't get to because I ran out of bullets. But outside of him, baby here is the only other horse on this island. I've gone through a killing spree. There's like the leather things that they drop and meat all over this island that I didn't have room to pick up that I've got to go. But he was right because I would hit a spot and I would have like a lot of. I bet you that horse is near because I hit a lag spike. I would go around the island and as soon as I could tell before I even saw the horse because I would hit like a lag spike. It would be like, and I would look through the trees and there would be a horse or 5. So yeah, see, I need to go through and pick these up. They're probably lagging the server too, just sitting there. But yeah, I went on a little jaunt with my revolver and took care of that. Oh, really? Ran into my own bear trap. Oh my god. Oh yeah, that was smart. I had this because when I first had the island, there's some wood chips or something. When I first had the island, oh, there it is right there. But she was like low level. She died to a pack of leopards. There was like 3 of them or something, and they were like all over me. So I put down some bear traps for their ass, and then I walk into it 3 years later. Smart. But yeah, the horses that were like meditating over here and the looking out over the waters. I don't know what they were doing. They were just standing there. They died too. So yeah, if you're having a lot of latency issues, I would hit up the horses, take them out, and then there's some seagulls that were kind of um, doing weird things on my island. Can't get that one. Um, they get stuck in the water somehow, and then they just flap around. And I took those out as well when I found them. But I'd known about those. Oh, see that lag spike? It's nearby. I think probably part of it is just that they haven't optimized the animals yet, and that's the real issue, right? They haven't done stuff that they need to do with the animals, and because the animals are breeding, because that's part of the game, they're duplicating whatever code issue they have. So anyway, hopefully this audio is better. This was with the new headset. I can't hear myself as well because the head piece is actually better, I guess. It has a lot more insulation, and so therefore I can't hear myself talking back. So hopefully it comes out okay. I won't know until I go in and edit. And but the next time that you see me, I will be um, I've been building so long that I think I'm going to go on a little exploration. And because you just don't know how exciting or boring those potentially will be, I probably won't record unless I find something really interesting. So I'm going to do some exploring, get that out of my system, then come back and do the fisherman's area. It's not going to be very big, I don't think, but yeah, I want to get it done so I can move on to the blacksmith because that one actually I'm more excited about than the fisherman's area. I probably should, yeah, I just want to get it done so it's done. But anyway, um, so I'm definitely going to edit again before you see any more videos um, from me. So the next time you see this, it will be not about the tailor shop. Anyway, have a good one. Talk to you later.